Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Creatives of Windsor podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Sheardown, and today I'm sitting down with Sebastian Abt, lead singer and guitar player of the local band Huttch. Sash, welcome.
Perfect. What's going on, man?
Not much. How have you been?
Very good. Very good.
What have you guys been doing band-wise?
Band-wise, we're writing right now, and we're booking some shows. We just kind of got, well, obviously we released our last album, our fourth body of work, entitled Home Run, and that was kind of at the tail end of COVID and everything like that, so we did have a chance to get back into the shows and go out in the States and do a couple shows. Did mostly Ontario when we went back, like to do the run, like just to kind of do as much as we can there again. And but yeah, like we had a great time doing that run of shows, and we put out, you know, a lot of the videos, a little live video session, and now we're just kind of like hoping people buy it at the merch table now.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I love it. What's your favorite song on the album? I'll tell you mine after, but you got to tell me yours first.
Nice. You know what? It's tough because one of the last songs that we wrote for it was Get On With It. And that one is probably my favorite, like on the record, but Georgian Bay is probably a close, you know, tie or whatnot for me on the full album. But there's something I love about every song, obviously.
Mine is probably Tired Eyes.
Okay, good.
I've been feeling it a lot lately, you know. I don't know.
That was definitely one where we thought that was going to be, one of the singles or a song to push really hard until we wrote, like, Get On With It. And like I said, that was the writing and all the process of that album because of COVID, and we had to kind of go into Zack's basement and hunker down and track stuff there, which we were already doing, but we were getting pretty confident and you know, learning a lot from doing that already. So the whole idea of tackling that in Zack's basement and doing it pretty much ourselves was a good experience, and I think it had Zack write a lot more ideas, you know, and I think I'm a lot easier when I can bounce off something, like as far as writing. And also I think that it's easier. It's just easier for me when I'm given a challenge or something like that too, to write a song. I find that those songs end up being better than me trying to like, okay, what do I got cooking? Like, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. So when you guys write, do you always do the lyrics? How
yes.
does that work? Okay.
I mean, sometimes a lyric will come, or the main lyric of something will come from what we talk about or what we say. It's funny, yesterday we were having a not good like writing session as far as like we were trying to put vocals, and sometimes it'll come down to that where it's like we're writing a song and we have a full song done, but I just haven't, you know, put anything to it, and those are always the hardest, you know, like when you get to a certain point, everything's done, and I have a idea, but I'm not really happy about it, and then, you know, we might want to change it up. On the last record, Don't Look Down was one of those songs, and I took like lyrics from a song that I'd already written like a long time ago, or I had an idea of, and put them on that, and luckily it like worked out really easily.
Yeah.
So, and yesterday, we were trying to just come up with something. Sometimes we're just like, you know, throwing paint at the wall and nothing really looks that great.
Yeah. So you do all the lyrics. When it comes to like the instruments, like does everybody just handle their own, or do you guys give each other like?
Everybody really does write their own parts. And like I said, if I'm lucky enough where Zack was putzing around with a guitar or has this demo that, you know, that we all think is either, some of them have been funny, you know, like some of those songs will come out from that, like a demo we wouldn't even expected, but like because we're all enjoying it, and then once it comes quick, like we try and lay it down pretty quick, and hopefully a line will emerge from it, and I'll be like, okay, I got a theme, you know, fill in the verses. And as long as you get like a great chorus line or something like that, then usually we're off and running. But the ones that don't have that are always the hardest, especially if it's something that, say if Zack wrote something else or whatever, and I'm going to go put stuff over top of it. I never had that like initial sit down and write it myself moment where I would have sang something that might have fit. You know what I mean? Like songs will come different from writing yourself. And Georgian Bay was one of those where I was given a task to like write a song, and I came up with that one. And that was like another very easy one that, you know, Zack was like, okay, you know, like also Zack does a lot of we go to his house to record and stuff like that. So we're all pretty intrinsic with like writing and together for the most part.
Yeah. You guys like, I remember going to Toronto with you years ago, and you guys were recording up there. You don't record up there anymore?
I mean, we did actually. We were before COVID. We were recording out of Union Sound, which now we're hoping to go back and book some more dates to finish the 3 songs we started there. And we were writing kind of like heavier songs. And when all this stuff kind of happened, and we weren't really like, maybe, you know, a heavy album isn't, or something like that isn't really great to release right now. Everybody's going to go, what are they going to mosh at home? Or like, you know. And so, and at the time we had these couple heavier song ideas or whatever, and then still a bunch in the back burner. And we kind of put the heavier stuff aside. And then we were like, well, let's try and tackle the ones that maybe don't fit that theme as much. And that's how we started like the last album. But now we're kind of tackling the stuff that we were initially starting before all COVID. So
okay. We
kind of changed lanes a bit, but I was super happy the way Home Run turned out. And the idea of I as far as the band, I really enjoy the process of having everybody involved. And it does fall on me sometimes with the like lyrics, but those guys will help, you know, and we'll sit together and talk about the songs and, you know, go from there. But for the most part, like I can fairly get the words down, but on the songs that I struggle with, I just want to like throw them in the garbage. But the guys, everybody's worked hard on like a song, and it's like, you can't really do that. So I just got to figure it out sometimes.
That's interesting to hear that, like, the way you guys have, like, you have a whole song done, but there's no lyrics yet, and you have a hard time finding words to go with the sound.
Right. Well, you know what? It's not that you can't find something, but it's something that's like, when it's not your favorite, you know, that's hard. That's hard when you're beating your head against the wall because you know it could be great. And like I said, when we were writing that song, Don't Look Down, that was one of the ones where, like if I could find another set of words or something that I've written down before, or maybe another melody that might even work, I'll gladly cut and paste from my own stuff and put it on there if I can. But
for sure,
it just sucks when you can't get something done. You never want to throw away like a song, but the shelf of unreleased songs and demos, it grows bigger every day. And one day it breaks and you just throw it out.
That's interesting to hear, for sure. So so back on like songwriting, I guess, what's your biggest inspiration? Like, do you draw your inspiration, like when you need an idea or you're trying to get inspired to write a song, do you try to grab that from only other music, or do you like look to other things too?
You know what, as far as like our songs with the band and stuff, it like inspiration for like a topic to write about, a lot of them come from, you know, either situations we've all been in, or they'll come from an observation of my life or some of the guys' lives, or things that we're tackling together. Sometimes I, writing a song, and sometimes I have a hard time writing the narrative, I guess, of myself, but some of the songs probably sound like I'm singing about like myself or whatever. But I tell people all the time, like, I don't really feel like, not a huge attachment to like these songs, because I'm always like, I want to finish them and I want them to be the best. And once I have a good idea, then I just want to I want to finish it, and I want it to be the best that it can be. I don't know, like inspiration, like between us. It usually stems from experiences that we've had together. Hopefully it's like, I think of like the, Huttch is like, my Tragically Hip band, because like they're my high school buddies, and I never wanted sometimes I say, like, this is a better way of explaining it. Sometimes when I write, if it's by myself, that's my time to be right, and when I'm with the guys, it's my turn to be like wrong in a sense, because you have to listen to everybody, and ultimately those are the best songs that come out of it, is when we're all really happy with it, and nobody's like, I don't like this and blah blah. Those ones will sometimes linger for a while until you really come up with the right idea. But yeah, it's a lot of songs topically, like inspiration. It'll come from, things that happen between us, me observing something in their life, and I don't ever go up to them and say, hey, this is a song about you, or something that, like, whatever. Yeah. But maybe they can, get it to where I'm coming from. So, eventually they have to read the lyrics and sing it, and they'll ask, obviously. But
yeah,
Jordan Bay, things like that. That's pretty obvious. It's like I don't think I dig like really deep, which was actually kind of the goal on some of these songs, is like, let's just not overthink them. That was a really big goal for these songs.
Yeah, because like some of your songs in the past, like, so for Georgian Bay, it's obvious. Everybody from Canada or from Ontario has like I can see what you're doing just from like going to a cottage up north.
That's great. And you know what? That's been one of my favorites to get feedback on, because it's about a cottage, like my family cottage that we go to all the time. And I love going there and hanging out in the summer. We go there in the winter sometimes when it's even like more, rough to do that. But, and to hear people like, respond to around that area, or when we play in those areas, that they do kind of relate to. It's a very visual song about, this place I like hanging out at.
Yeah. And then like, I don't know, Tired Eyes, that one's easy to follow too. Like,
sure.
Kind of what you're singing about. But then you've had some songs in the past that like, even like, I don't know, what's a good example? Like White Sheets isn't as obvious.
I don't, for sure. Sometimes you're making things rhyme, and I know, especially when those, like, obviously an earlier song, and you get better as you go, at least you feel like you do. And that people like, might have questions or curious about what those songs are about. And there's underlying messages, or there's something that might have sparked a line, but I was never really trying to look for like the end result of being like, somebody is going to understand, what I'm talking about, because I don't think there's probably songs that I would think I understand about lyrically, but it could not be about that at all, and so I never really wanted to be like so focused on making a point with the lyrics. Sometimes I think I was too wordy back in the day, like trying to be Gord Downie or like a poet, and that's fine and dandy if you're lucky enough to come up with like some really great lines. And I think that those lines will come very easily when you're in the moment, and when you're like, that's the best feeling, is when I get a clear vision of what I'm trying to write about or sing about. And sometimes I have to remember to visualize it. And, like Georgian Bay was easy to write words because I had so many visualizations in my head. And sometimes it's hard when you don't have a vision, and sometimes you have to step back and tell yourself, what am I like writing about, or what the.
Yeah. I think all music is up for interpretation at the end of the day. Like the singer, or the songwriter, I guess, better word. Like you write something, but then some people are going to interpret it totally different than you wrote. But I think as long as like somebody feels something from it, like you did,
right? You
did your job, right?
Right.
Doesn't even matter if they see it the same way that you did, I guess.
For sure. And, songs are going to be more obvious than others. But I think like other songwriters that I listen to, like I've definitely been inspired of the craft of it, like verse, chorus, and sneaky ways of tying the words together. And, certain things that you can do like that have always impressed me in other lyricists. But I feel like I get the melody right away, and I'm still like, I wouldn't consider myself like a poet or great lyricist, but some people have came up to me and said a line has meant like a lot, or that they were really inspired or thought it was a great line. And that's awesome. As long as the overall song is like something I can listen to and enjoy. Like sometimes I am proud of a line or something like that, but you're just always chasing it anyways. So
yeah. Has anybody ever gotten a tattoo of a lyric you wrote? No.
I don't think we have any Huttch tattoos out there.
No?
I don't think so.
I guess somebody would probably come show you if they did
that. The ceiling tile, I know one of them has been painted in fog with one of our lyrics on. That was awesome.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So I know you love the hip, obviously.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
If you're Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. What would you say is like your favorite genre of music? Like, is it 70s type?
That's tough. I mean, I still think I love all the music that's coming out now. And like, as far as genre, yeah, like, it's tough because I try and listen to like everything. Mm-hmm. I find myself even listening to, I feel like when the sun comes out, I get my country, like, construction kind of like phase.
Yeah.
And I love obviously rock, singer-songwriter stuff. This guy in it, Tim Maya, Brazilian like pop, like I don't know. I find putting myself on to a lot of different music. Maybe not a lot of different music. I don't like hardcore stuff. I don't know. That's kind of like something that I'm not drawn to as much, but there's still heavy stuff that I love. And now we're trying to write heavier songs. Like, sometimes it's like the challenge of it too. But definitely 70s music. From maybe not as much, I don't know, 60s, but 70s on. I'd probably pick 70s. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite decades.
I like 65 to like 80.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. There's pockets of everything. I kind of like, I would never be able to choose, I don't think, like one kind of timepiece or like, I mean, it'd be hard to even choose like a specific genre. I'm trying to like, I listen to, as much as I can, but sometimes it's like stepping away from it is good because then it gives you like a breath of, what can I think of? Like, cause you do try and write. And if I'm listening to a lot of stuff, I might get inspired and swayed. And then like, you're like, I don't know, thinking, what should I write? Like this country, stuff. And sometimes you just got to focus on getting what you got in front of you done.
Yeah. Yeah. If you could see anybody from the past, any band except for the hip, did you go to that show? I
got to see, luckily enough, I knocked off a few hip shows before they stopped. The first one a long time ago was in Detroit. I did get to see the second show in Toronto out of the 3 of their last tour.
Yeah.
And that was unreal because I felt like I had so many songs I wanted to see live, and I felt like that last show, they played a lot of songs that I wouldn't have got to see live, I don't think, and that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Your music, you can see some hip stuff in the things you sing about, especially like Kings of Lausanne, where you guys sing about the French River.
For sure.
Like, man, like I grew up at my cottage on the French River. Like,
that's what I mean. You probably have more of a connection to it with me because, like, it was definitely something like we would have driven through or whatnot. But yeah, sometimes I don't even know why I would have wrote about that. Just provoked because of something that happened between me and the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like definitely Georgian Bay was more about me and my childhood or now still being able to go to that place. If I could see anybody right now, that was what, like
anybody, even if they're like not a band or they're dead, whatever, just anybody.
Like right now?
Yeah, like you can go see them like next month, like they're playing a show.
Actually, damn, you know what? Everybody would always know I would love to go see Dana Romano again. Sure, why not? He just played in Windsor and that was awesome. But I love going to see him. And let me give you another one. Let me think. This is tough too because I don't know.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I know that's a big question.
I'll go see Ron Sexsmith. I haven't seen him in a long time. And yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what were you gonna say?
Say I gotta pick me.
No, it's all good. I put you on the spot.
I'll think. I think of somebody else.
Think of it and then let me know. Okay, so you guys have 2 full lengths, the LP, and then some smaller ones. Because I guess you would count, like, do you count the one that you put 3 songs on as an LP too?
It's like an EP
or an EP. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I would say those 3, and those are the only ones we didn't really like put to a copy yet, or a physical form.
Yep.
Which you never know. It could be something that one day we revisit to do that. But the next one that we're working on is going to be another full length too. So obviously that'll be another physical copy added to the collection. The full lengths, it's definitely try and do it every year, if we can. And we have a lot of good songs like Sittin', and now that we have like this kind of theme to go with, like a couple of different heavy songs, we'll have to go back and dust off some old ones. And I think right now actually we're just kind of focusing on writing before the summer comes up, and we're going to be trying to play a lot more. And
for sure. Do you ever forget how to play? Like, can you play every single song right now that you have on any of those EPs or LPs?
Definitely not.
No? Okay.
There's a lot, and honestly, that's probably not that we wouldn't learn them, or we don't, like, people have asked for some of the older ones, and I think that, we've played them for a little bit, but we try and keep the set as exciting as possible. And yeah, there's definitely a reason why we don't play some, because I would have to, not that we couldn't, but you're always chasing the next best batch of songs and the next best set that we can make. Definitely like the big goal for us. But if you want a special request, people have asked for Malden Hill or these things, and it's like, it didn't even feel like, but they're kind of like complex songs back in the day for us as a 3-piece to try and write and, come up with. And yeah, I feel like I want to be like more laid back. But
yeah, that's so crazy. See, Malden Hill, like, that's one of my favorites. I love that song.
And you know what? Well, I'm sure there'll be a day where we're going, like, Robbie will force me to play it or something like that, and that's fine. I have no problem doing it. But we had a really good groove when we started putting a home run. We put out like a really great set, and if you haven't seen us, like, come out and we love that. But we think that this was a really good batch of songs to add to what we've been playing. And yeah, you definitely get bored of the older stuff, or
for sure, yeah.
Or you wonder if anybody's even like they want to hear something else or new, or so.
Aside from Tired Eyes, I like No In Between too.
Yeah, you know what, and that's I love hearing what people like want to say about our songs, because sometimes we have slow ones, sometimes we have fast ones, and I think that we try and keep the record overall. Not just one, style of anything. And it's always great to hear when somebody has something nice to say, or a song that you wouldn't have expected. Like No In Between, I have been hearing a lot of people write about that song to us, and you can see on Spotify like what people are listening to, or
True.
like the app. So yeah, and sometimes you think you're gonna have like this is the hit thing. Yeah, bam.
I know it's hard. It's a one-man show. I know
that's okay. The camera's gonna die, so we'll be right back. I wonder if the guys think I'm doing good.
It's already going. It's already back on. It's one click.
There you go. Oh, really?
Yeah, I got it through here. I try to, I don't have Jamie. This isn't Joe Rogan.
I don't have the guys. This isn't like our usual,
Well, I'll get there. I'll get those microphones. I'll one day. But that's the thing too, is like, for most of my guests I'm planning to have on this show, it's probably mostly going to be a one-on-one, except for bands.
Fine. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I guess you can see like on Spotify. Do you guys get more analytics than like a normal person would with just like seeing the numbers?
Well, I think that you can upgrade on it or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. I just look at the when we put out something new, we'll always be curious to see like, which ones people are listening to most.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, unless it starts blowing up and our phones, are like, oh,
yeah,
somebody's sharing something. Yeah, and that's great. I mean, we try and put the videos out and things like that to curate visuals for the album and stuff like that. But yeah, we will be hunkering down and writing a little bit more until the summer and September. And like I said, we have our visas. We play in the States as much as we can. Playing in the States is just so many more cities to hit up with, and the people over there are awesome. All the shows we have there are great. Everywhere in Canada is awesome too, but the driving and all that stuff, as much as we can get done, like we want to do it, but logistics, definitely. We're happy to go play and hang out with everybody like that, all their musician friends that we can tag along with the shows and everything like that.
For sure. Man, I miss going away with you guys. It's been a really long time.
Tag along anytime you want, man.
Yeah, maybe this summer, because COVID put such a damper on things.
Yeah, it definitely changed the mindset a little bit, but I mean, what are you going to do? That's honestly for us, it turned into this, like, I think we kind of needed a little bit of a break when it started. And then it turned into like a little bit of okay, when are we going to get out there? Like, we have this album now. And then even the records took a while to come in for us, after all that happened. And so we really didn't even get to have we had an amazing album release at Meteor. That was awesome. And, but we didn't have the physical vinyls on us just yet. So that's why we did a separate show for that. And
that was the one at the Chelsea that you guys did?
Yeah.
When's your next local show?
We will be doing a Windsorites show on May 19th. So that's a set to look forward to. We try and keep our Windsor sets, just because it's a hometown show. It's we don't want to keep playing every, whatever until everybody's going to end up singing the same songs all the time, And
True.
So, well, anyways, we try and keep it every so often. We'll always play Windsor, but
yeah, I think that's. I like that, because then it's like, oh, they're playing. It's been a couple months. We got to go.
And we appreciate every time somebody does still. Like, and I think every album we put out, we get great feedback. People resonate with the songs, and it's not like they're unaware of like yourself. Like, you definitely have listened to the songs, and we appreciate that. So it's the best you can hope for, that people are having a good time at a show, and that we can make a good run of shows when we do. And it's, we make the money back on the albums. Like, we're pretty good with, like, managing all that kind of aspect between our time schedules and, so.
Yeah. What's the funnest show you've played, or one of the most memorable, like, live experiences? I know you've had a couple, like, really cool ones.
I would say, we did play at the El Mocambo, and that was a really great show. The last one was good too, but the one before that, even, we did like a points bet kind of like party, and we got to a couple of Trailer Park Boys were there, like helping release that, and that's always fun. We've done a couple things with them now, so that's always awesome. But that show especially was fun because Josh Trager was there from Sam Roberts' band, and we heard that he might be there, and we're like, can we like play a song, so we did Detroit 67 with, like, he went up and played, and that was like probably the closest I'll ever get to be Sam Roberts. So.
Yeah, that's super cool. You guys played didn't you play a song with Bubbles?
We did, yeah. We learned Liquor and Whores for that. That's always something that we've been graciously provided to from Sheila Roberts, and I'm actually gonna go meet the guys right now and hang out and talk about kind of like what we're gonna plan to do, like, in a little bit. So
yeah, we
always try and keep it with some band meetings, and we're always writing, like always doing a band practice. It's all about managing the schedule, if you can,
and trying to be consistent,
even
when you're not feeling it.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Yesterday it was funny because it's like let's try and do some vocals tonight. All right, I show up. Let's see what we can do, because like it was one of those songs that I didn't, I've been banging my head against with, and we were typing in like, let's just ask AI to write our lyrics. So we were trying to like the bots like that to see what we'd come up with, and we were laughing. But it's probably best that I just find a way around.
Yeah. That's funny. That's actually, I don't know if you knew, I read it somewhere, I heard it in an interview. That's how Post Malone got his name. He typed in his name, which is Austin Post, in a rap name generator.
Yeah, the Wu-Tang one, I think.
Yeah, and then he came up Post Malone.
Did you do yours?
For what?
Did you put what your rap name?
No.
You should
Oh,
find
when
out.
it was that thing that was going around.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't the Wu-Tang one or whatever, but I think I've done mine in that.
Yeah.
I think I'm like Vulgar Samurai or something like that.
That's funny. So what about solo stuff? Have you been doing anything or just focusing on the band?
Yeah, right now, focusing on the band. Honestly, that stuff comes from... Honestly, originally, some of that solo stuff, the whole Sam Abt and little EP I put out, I just bought this acoustic guitar, this old K guitar off Chris Holt, not the guy who was running for mayor, different buddy. And it was really cool. I brought it to Steve Chapman because I wanted to lower the action, and he was like, it's a really nice guitar. I think it was just set up to play like slide or something. He's like, it might be, do you really want to like commit to like changing it? And I was like, you know what? Actually, that gives me an idea. Like, I don't want to change it. And so I took it home, and, I'm a big fan of JJ Cale and things like that. And I put it through a fuzz and a wah pedal, and I sat there, and I really felt like I made a bunch of those demos in like a couple days. And I still have even more old demos of that, just from looping slide to a beat, bass, and maybe some Farfisa keys or something. And it turned out really cool. And then I didn't think about it for a bit. I came back and started listening to stuff, put some words on a couple, and then I had 4, and I was like, okay, I'll just put them out. And, and I would have probably been like, oh, let me bring these songs to the guys or something like that. But they were all just slide guitar, thing. And I was just like, I don't think we're going to, it's not like we're going to play these songs like that or, usually. And so I was like, well, I'll just, put that out. And I just, have been tinkering away with some other ones there again. One of my laptops got stolen, so I thought that was like they were gone, some of the songs. But I backed up my laptop, luckily to a hard drive, and I started finding some of those old ones, and I was like, oh my God, I actually have the Logic files, because I thought I just had like MP3s and I would have to re-record it. And so I think there will be, I kind of have an idea, I guess, for that stuff too, but I always put the band before that, because like I said, that's always something I can do. I was writing songs or trying to early before even Huttch or State of any of that stuff that we did before. Yeah. I always wanted to write songs, or as long as I can remember, growing up across my buddy Dakota Shepley, his dad and him got me into it pretty much, because he was a drummer and his dad played guitar, and I would always go over there and hang out with them. So
yeah,
at a very young age, that's how I kind of got into it. And yeah, so it's it's something that's never going to go away, and it's not like I'm ever going to stop writing music anyways. It's just always trying to, so if I have a good theme or a good idea and I get addicted to that, then it's I will. Playing on stage with a band is I don't think it may never top being a solo artist, that feeling of playing with other people. And because I'm sure one day I would like to have people play with me, try these solo songs or something else. Maybe I'll, do something crazy and do more, maybe become a DJ in EDM, or I don't know. Who knows? Or a country, a band, or if I have an idea for something, I'll get addicted to it, even just thinking about it, even if it doesn't happen. But the band will always happen, because that's my 4 amigos now, 3, with Zack and Robbie, and Dan was such a great sport to join our band early, and I'll play with you guys for free, no problem. And him coming along and learning our songs, playing in the East Coast at first, and then slowly becoming all right, you're the keys guy, and we'd always write songs with all these extracurricular things. So it's when we go and used to play as a 3-piece, we would want those additions as much as possible, but now that we have them, it's great. And we're always working at something, and once we have a good theme or a good idea for an album, then then it gets exciting, for me at least. Because otherwise, like you can make a song as good as, you want, and how you're going to put that all together for a package is always like one of my favorite parts. Because then the funny inside stories and jokes come out, and then we're all having a good time, and, the ball's rolling.
Do you want somebody to listen to, like, if somebody's going to hear this podcast and they never listened to you before and they're going to go listen to Home Run, do you want them to listen it from start to finish?
Yeah, I think we've laid out the songs in that way, and that's always in mind, how the tracks are going to play out. It's not, you can listen to the songs on Spotify if you want and hit shuffle, but yeah, it's great to hear all the songs on one good, play.
Straight, from the start to finish. Are you going to any concerts this summer that you're excited about?
Am I going? I kind of take them as they come. Like I guess I could plan for a couple. I think we might go try and see the July Talk and Danny Romano in Detroit. We've been trying to get this guy Young Gov. We've been trying to see his show for a bit, but the last two that were going to be in Toronto were canceled.
I've heard of him. What does he do?
Well, he's. I think he played in the band Fucked Up, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I can't remember. But this is like his kind of solo stuff. And we met a guy in Sudbury too. We knew that he kind of played with them, Tommy and the Commies, and he played guitar on. Basically, I think the first album that we heard from was Gov 3. We might have actually heard the singles before that too, but he's just a great artist. I can't remember. I don't even know I can't remember his name. You'd have to Google it again.
Yeah.
But Young Gov, man, I don't know. He's actually, the way he was putting out his albums were really inspiring for Home Run, or we were writing this stuff before. Just calling it like Gov 1 and 2, Gov 3, Gov 4. And you're like, what is Young Gov? Like, I don't even know really, but his music is awesome. And Gov 3 was probably one of our favorite albums, like last year, I guess it was put out, or the year before that. Yeah. That's
cool. Interesting. Do you remember when we were in Toronto years ago at that brewery, and they live cut your set to that record?
We were just talking to Six about that because he was doing this record documentary now.
Oh, cool.
And we showed it to him because it was all about records, and it's definitely the most interesting recording piece, probably the rarest Huttch item.
Yeah.
I
have 2.
You have 2?
Because they screwed up the first one.
Oh.
And there's like something wrong with it. And then the second one or something, and I have 2.
Yeah. Basically, that brewery, they recorded it live, and cut it in these this square plastic. I don't even know if it was, what material or whatever it was made of, but yeah, it was a cool concept, cool idea.
Because it's a square, right?
It's
not
square.
A circle.
Even when I pulled it out the first time, I was like, oh, it's a square, because you hold the thing and it's printed on whatever it looks like the backdrop of the case is, but. Yeah, that was cool. We were just talking about it. I don't know how well the quality and, it being a little flimsier and left in wherever, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how many we printed. Robbie said 10 or maybe a couple, maybe it was 4 or something like that. If you have 2, man, you're holding out.
But one is screwed up, I think.
Oh,
you can listen to them. I'll show you. Because I was actually going through my records, and then I saw one, and I was like, why do I have 2 of these? And then I was like, I kind of remember.
Robbie's going to be kicking the door in.
He's breaking in. He's still going to take it.
Yeah, that was a cool thing that we did.
Yeah, that was good times. That was a long time ago now.
I know. It doesn't feel like a long time ago, but, with the whole break and when we did all those shows in the States, we tried to do that as much as we could. And it really wasn't like we were gone the whole year, but it feels like, we did a lot. And, not that we feel like we missed out on opportunities, but I definitely think, what could have happened in those 2 years, but I don't think we would have got the record that we made now, which at the end of the day is the most, important thing to us, is that we put out the best album that we can.
Yeah, because that's what you leave behind.
Exactly. Even if I don't care if it's like shite or you know, if somebody thinks that, but yeah, I just it's just one of those addicting things like you'll never stop doing, and as long as I have, you know, like a good theme going, like I don't know, a lot of the Sam Abt solo songs, it's like my chance to write songs about things that the guys might laugh about, or you know, like if I want to write a song about poker or you know, something like that.
You don't have to have anybody like over your shoulder.
Not like those guys have ever been over my shoulder. They're honestly only over my shoulder because they are like, we want to get this done too, you know.
Yeah. No, is it weird being at the mercy? Like, I think like maybe that's why you. Well, I don't think I'm asking. I guess like, is that why you did your solo thing? Because to make a song with Huttch, you're at the mercy of the other three guys too, right?
It's not the reason why I like wrote that. It's just because I think that those songs wouldn't have been served like, you know, I wasn't gonna tear down, I think, those things because I was like, this sounds like a different thing anyways.
Yeah.
So, and if it didn't, I would have brought up to those guys and I would have been like, okay, we're not doing a slide, but it's a good melody, right? Or something like that. But I don't like mixing it too much because I don't like a song getting torn apart if I really want a certain way.
Yeah.
And I think that's the magic of playing with other people, is that we're going to come up with something that I wouldn't have been able to, even if it was like somebody's the best or like, you know, something I would never like want to tear away a song that Zack had or even Robbie, like if he comes up with something like that or has I want to write this kind of music even. Okay, let's do what we got to do. You know, let's try and come up with some ideas. And you know, there's a lot of days where you're sitting and jamming and going like, was that cool? Like, is that good enough? And there's days where we're like, you know, ecstatic from like one of these demos that Zack has or something that we just kind of came up with. Like, it might be my job to put the lyrics on it, but like ultimately we split everything, like, you know, between us.
Yeah.
And even like royalty wise, like whatever our song, like, you know, we put them on there, it's like, you know, 33 to Zack, 33 to Robbie, and I think I have like 0.01 more % for lyrics.
Okay.
So, and that's like, you know, whatever, right?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's super cool. So let's see. Well, if you couldn't do music anymore, what would you do?
It's a good question. I mean, if I couldn't do music anymore, what would I focus on other? Probably like trying to do acting or something in film or writing. Like I used to do plays, and you know, that was always a good time. And I did some background acting like in Toronto, just because I just wanted to be on a set or see.
Yeah.
And obviously that comes along like when you're kind of like, you know, addicted to being creative in a sense, like it's going to come out or you're going to get interested in that. I wish I could paint or something, but
yeah,
maybe I'll find that later on, you know, a little bit. I wish I could paint or do more things like that because it would help the band so much, you know, as far as like designing and, you know, at the end of the day, you just got to get better and learn how to either Photoshop or, you know, things like that would be a great tool. Zach's does a lot of that for us too. But if I were to pick something, maybe I'd play like, I would just want to be like, I wish I would play pro golfer or something, you know, or like.
Do you golf a lot?
I golf when I can. Like, I probably had a good swing back in the day, but now it's like, if I can play with my buddies and go out, like that's always a good time. I got a good swing. Okay. Yeah, I'm a bogey golfer. I'm not like, you know, shooting birdies and stuff that often.
Yeah, like when it comes to artistic endeavors, like anytime I'm interested in something, I always want to try it out and like give it a shot or do something myself. But when music is the only thing that I'm like, I've always just been content being a fan of.
That's so, you know what, and that's awesome because, you know, it's great when people are just fans and really just enjoy the music. But yeah, I'm surprised because you're so into it and you have so many other like artistic outlets. Like, I'm sure you're gonna play one day, or maybe not. Maybe you're just like, why would I?
Yeah, I don't know. I love music so much. Like, I don't know. I listen to music 24/7. Like from the minute, because you know I work alone at the computer all day. It's just always on. You know, when they do the Spotify Wrapped,
right?
Nobody's beating my hours. I always win on
well,
the
we need
hours.
them. We need that.
Yeah.
You know? We need something to share on the stories if we can.
But it's funny because like other things like skateboarding, like I see somebody and I want to do it or anything like that. But music, I'm just like, I'll just listen.
I don't know how like Stefan, like Datsun would like can like still skate, and it's like I'm just like it sucks getting hurt so much. But he's a very chill skater, you know, and that was definitely something I probably thought when I was younger would be sick to do, and now I'm like don't want to do that.
Because you used to skate.
I used to skate. Oh, dude, I used to see me. I did like a varial over stairs one time, and I was like, I'm out.
I seen that on your Facebook before. It was pretty sick. Was that like that was your peak trick?
That's when I hung up the board.
Yeah.
No, I mean I would still like skate around, but yeah, I don't know. I just think I'm gonna get hurt or something.
I know it's scary. Like
I'd rather surf like you know, or something like that. Obviously, we don't live around it like too much. You have to go all the way to California to surf or something for you, right?
For the most part, we do a little bit of the lakes.
Yeah,
you know, we can get out. Maybe I'll get you out on the lake this summer.
For sure, man.
I'll hit you up.
I would like wakeboard or you know, I was physical, like, you know, sports, all the board sports I wanted to do. Yeah, that's what my brothers did, and but yeah, there's only so much time in the day, and we have a lot of goals like with the band, and even personally, like I have goals about writing, and you know, I'm always beating myself up about writing or things like that. I mean, but you know, it's the highs are super high, and you know, when those kind of things come along, it's like I'm lucky that I can, you know, hang out and chill here and, you know, do something else if I really feel that way. But yeah, it's the goal is always like, you know, making the next best song or best album. And obviously there's other goals. I like, yeah, maybe I would want to try some other artistic like outlet one day, like, you know, more intensely, but I think I got to knock a couple more bucket list things off, like in the music career for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you get down on yourself if you feel like you haven't been putting enough effort into the music?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody does in their own ways, you know, whether it's artistic like thing or not. And even I, like, you know, I don't consider myself a great artist. I feel like if I was really like crushing it, I'd be like at every Monday open mic, like trying a new song, in which I've told myself I'm going to, you know, try and do. And then why don't you do it? Because, you know, you're like working and then you've already done band stuff or, you know, but you know, I'm avidly trying to find a way to keep myself more organized to get that stuff done, and you know, making sure we have a space like at Zack's or at my place that, like, you know, I'm committed to going up and trying vocal ideas out or writing, and yeah, it's just it is tough. Honestly, it's tough now. It's tough now to. The hardest thing for me is to like reach out and book and doing all that, the legwork of the stuff. And it's easier when you're in a band. You have other people helping you do that, obviously.
Yeah. And
self-promotion, like, you know, it's more like if it's really great, you think it should self-promote itself.
Yeah.
But ultimately you have to do something and work on videos or filming, you know, something with the guys. And so we have content to put out for people. But at the end of the day, it's like the music. I'm most happy when a show goes well and when I have like great song ideas in mind and I finish them and you know, we can all go home happy, you know, finally.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the writing process is, yeah, definitely, I definitely get down on myself and I worry so much about what the guys, you know, think or, you know, how it's going. But at the end of the day, like if you're doing good work, like or if you're avidly trying, you'll get the golden nuggets that you need, like, out of it, I think.
Yeah, for sure. When was the last time you did open mic? You mean the one at Fog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember, man. Like, that's what I mean. I feel like it's been so long. I feel like I haven't been like going out to enough shows to like, you know, sometimes you feel like,
me too.
Do they hate me, or like, do you think like I'm doing enough for them because people have came up to our shows and, you know, all this stuff, but I don't think you owe anybody like, you know, that kind of commitment I mean, it's for if you want to go out and, have a good time and listen to music, sure. You want to have a great crowd there, and, that's always the best when you have a good crowd. I think that's the best when we play, because you wait for a good crowd, because you know that when you have enough people listening to you, we're going to hit them with like an energetic show. And also, we don't practice for nothing. It's like we want to show it off.
Yeah, for sure.
And also sometimes I think the best times we ever played has been like nobody there, because it's like, 10 people here are going to see the best show, I hope. Like, and you go like, if we can get those people to buy a record, then we did something right. I don't think you've done your job unless somebody's coming up to you and being like, can I buy your record, or something like that. Like, that mentality, like they should be like, can you sign, like, I want to check this out. And that's great. If they don't, like, no problem. Like, we're not expecting that, but we always tend to get people at the merch booth buying something like that and saying really nice things. So, that's kind of what you do it for.
Yeah, for sure. No, that makes sense.
Well, not really. I mean, you do it for yourself, but like to make the music. But
yeah,
that's always like. Sometimes I don't even want to charge people. I'm like, take the record, man.
Man. I know. Like when I do a book, I like.
We have your book at home. Like it really matches our.
Thank you.
We keep it out.
Thank you. See, like I always feel bad. I'm like, I just want to give it. Just take it. Like you can have it.
Yeah.
But like you can't.
This is how much
always do that.
This is how much I don't care like about the solo stuff. Is that like I wish I could make a record and give it away for free. I don't, and that might be like the goal, like for me, for that stuff, just because it's like it's extracurricular. If people want it, they want it. But when you work with something like with the guys and a goal, and everybody invests, and it's not just me, then we have commitments to being like we all put money in, or whatever, or other people have helped us. So we want to obviously see some sort of outcome, from that stuff. Yeah. But ultimately, I think the reason why all of us are doing it is because we love going out and playing shows, and we love the connections and meet people like you never thought you'd meet in, I don't know, like Ohio or Sudbury or something like that. And meeting musicians are the funniest and, great people. We get a lot of inspiration from our friends. Honestly, it's hard to pick like who would I want to see. It might be, one of our friends' bands or something like that. I would change my answer to maybe Young Gov. We really got, skipped out on 2 shows of Young Gov. So if I were to pick anybody to see, maybe it'd be him.
I'm surprised you didn't pick an older band.
Thin Lizzy, maybe.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if they're gone, if it's in that category, then I would love to see Thin Lizzy, back in their prime. I'd probably maybe pick that.
Yeah.
Just because I love a little Thin Lizzy.
But
and I got to see some bands that I got to see ELO, AC/DC, some of those bands that like we really loved, and Robbie and was more the Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd guy. He was like, you gotta listen to this stuff, man. He kind of like made me dive in hardcore more into that stuff, or at least listen to it all once. But
yeah,
not that I don't listen to
of course
that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna turn off Led Zeppelin or whatever, but
yeah, I always feel bad. Like if it's on the radio, you gotta wait till it's done before you can put something else on.
For sure.
Do you like Jim Croce?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought that you would be a fan.
Absolutely, man. And it's Gordon Lightfoot, like all these, we took our parents' record collections and we, listened to all that stuff, anything they had, and we consulted with each other what we all had. We got into music pretty hard like that after high school or in high school, and the best, still even hearing somebody that we love, knew that it's always the best when we have Dan, me, Zack, and we all love something together. Like we listen to it in the van. Oh, this album's great. We got to do something like this or blah. That's always fun. That's what gets us in a good writing mode too. But sometimes it's like you just want to. You got to turn it off sometimes.
Yeah.
For me at least, it's like, I got to stop getting inspired sometimes and do the legwork for that. Like we need to do.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Sometimes I feel like it's been like, I think after all of Home Run and doing all that stuff was a really great writing experience. And I thought we were on a really high place together. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
And then now I feel like we're back to like personally me, that struggle of like I feel like I have like a whole pile on my desk that needs to get done again, you know?
Yeah, like the second it finishes, you got to go to something.
And why
new.
is it? It's like it's fun when you're doing it, but like sometimes it's like, why does it feel like a mountain? I have no pressure to do it. It's just like it's my own addiction or something, you know?
But what is like when you take the record out of the box
Right.
and you're holding it? Is that not the best feeling of all time?
It is a great feeling to see it completed and printed, and you know. But ultimately, you see all those steps, you know, to that point. So it's like when you get the record, you go, better look pretty good, like you know, like we paid some, you know, a couple bucks for this. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it is the best feeling. I think the best feeling, better than pulling out the record and playing it, you know, for the first time, is getting to play an album release or getting to play shows, letting people hear it, and then getting to go play a show and have somebody come up and be like, I heard this song. And I go, we did something right, you know?
I think a lot of people at shows are nervous to come up to you. I bet you if people knew that you wanted them to come up, you'd have twice the amount of people come up.
Maybe. I don't want to look like, you know, somebody who would like, you know,
asking
not
for it, of course.
Yeah.
But if you were at a concert, like I've been at concerts and I'm like, oh, I want to go say hi, but then you're like, I don't want to bug them. You
Exactly.
know?
And yeah, true. There are a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people that you like that you don't want to bother because you don't want to fan out or something like that. I don't think. I feel like I used to do more, and now it's like I don't. I would probably hesitate on going up and being like, I love the record, but I really do want to tell the person that they love the record. So if I really like the record, I feel like I have to. Like I feel like personally, I would have to go up to like Young Gov and be like, this was a great record this year, or you know, whoever, right? Anybody that I really love, I would want to tell them that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And you can give us the love if you want. Like, it's no problem.
Yeah, every time you guys finish a show, you guys always get swarmed.
And you know what? Tell me what we did wrong, too, because that'd be great, you know?
It's hard, you know, like I said, I listen to a lot of music, but I'm not a musician myself, so I have no idea if you make a mistake. And I've asked you that before.
On
like,
stage or
do you
something
make a
like
mistake?
that?
And you're like,
yeah,
I made a mistake.
mistakes. Yeah. Everybody makes mistakes on stage, even if it's like probably the best performance you've ever seen. But just because we know what we're supposed to do up there, but sometimes it's the best when, you know, you play something slightly different, or I'm listening to Dan. He's kind of experimenting on stage because we've been playing. Actually, that's probably one of the best feelings too, of going out on tour and tightening up as you go playing. And then by the end, you're like, well, sometimes I wish from playing the show live after, you know, in the studio, you're like, I wish I kind of changed that or sang it just like that, because you might have a whole record and you haven't played it live, and then you go play it live and you're like, this is killing me, like, you know, like up on stage, and why did I, you know, try and write this or whatever. But and you know, you might shift a little something like that to make it easier, or bring it alive on stage is another challenge in itself, and you get exciting things from that, you know, and you definitely make mistakes that either you hate or turn into something good, but for the most part, it's like, yeah, you definitely notice your mistakes.
Is the song ever, like, is it always growing and evolving? Like, when you guys play, like, an old hit like White Stripes, do you guys, like, are you better at that song now than on the record?
I think for some songs, yeah, when you wait so long to play it again, then almost because you're sick of it, you'll try and change it, or that you're just like, kick yourself because you're like, wow, I was beating myself up about that song, and really that one really sounded good. And if we could play it like that or do it like that from now on, like, then it would be really great. Little things like that definitely happen for old songs and new. But yeah, it's a battle every time. Not every time, but we're pretty happy with the set that we have, you know, in our back pocket now. And we're just trying to add like more songs that, you know, we're going to have that nonstop power show.
Yeah.
You know, and when you get to that point, like, been playing for a long time together, like, I'm super fortunate that I have not had to switch out members like crazy or really try and make a band work. Like, it's always been, you can make a band work for 3 people if you just write songs in the realm and sing whatever, it's not that crazy of a thing to do, but to get it to a point where you can swap out songs and really feel like you're bringing a nice set to the audience. It takes a little bit of time for sure, and it only happens when people are on the same wavelength, and we've maybe created that wavelength being together for this long, but other people have had to go through a lot of people to get to where they're happy with a band or where they can bring these songs to life the way they want to, especially, even in Toronto, it might be a plethora of people like up there, but sometimes great people that just bang it out in their basement as hard as they can, for a long time end up being, just as good as playing with lots of multiple different talented people,
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Writing and stuff, it's always been an uphill climb for us to, keep all this going in a good way, not like a hard uphill climb, but like we feel like we're always slightly getting better with the next thing. And
for sure.
So why would we, stop? Or, even bands that break up or go on hiatus or something like that, it's like, if they played one show a year, like we would want to go, it's like, you don't want to say why would a band quit, but sometimes that's how much you think that band is awesome or that music's great. Like if they had one reunion show a year or however long, I'd still want to go see it. Like the music was great,
There's who is it? There's a local musician or band, and they only play on long weekends, right?
Yeah,
that's what I heard. One of the is it Max Marshall? He just played a couple weeks ago.
Okay, Max is great.
He only plays a couple times a year though, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Max is funny too because he listens to a lot of I feel like techno or dance or something like that, but from his music, you wouldn't maybe think of it right away. Max is great, and that's what I mean. He's one of those guys where if I could see it acoustic or whatever, he's just one of the most naturally gifted voices that I've ever heard, and he can play guitar like so individually himself and amazingly. That's one of those people that if I get a chance to see him, it's never disappointed.
Yeah, you got to go, man. We have so many good bands here.
We do, yeah. The music scene here is crazy. Detroit, the whole, and people have said that too. I don't know, there's a lot of great cities in Canada that great music comes from, but yeah, people, I don't know, the Windsor thing, it's maybe not as much now, but slightly overshadowed back in the day. People they kind of come through the border and go think it's London or Toronto first, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't matter. There's so many shows that happen all the time, especially now starting again and before COVID, and there'll be 3 bands on a lineup and they're all local, and I maybe never even seen one before, and they always just kill it.
And that's why I feel terrible sometimes, because people have asked us to go to shows, and if I can't make it, it's do I look like somebody who's not supporting when somebody has supported me so much? It's tough, but I definitely have made it kind of a note this year to try and get out to either try and play some more open mics to just for writing, to force myself to come up with a new song and go out there and practice it, because sometimes you get, I feel like I've been getting used to just going to Zack's with the guys and trying to create whatever we come up with, but I definitely have a lot of ideas that I want to bring to these guys again, and be like, hey, I think this will be a great song. Right now we're focusing on a certain type of the rest of the songs that we've come up with, but after that I'm already more excited to get into that phase again. I know we're going to track this and it's going to go great, and because we got this idea in mind, but I want to know what we're doing next too.
Yeah, how many songs are on Home Run?
I think there's 11, or
that's the number you guys like.
I think it's 11. Yeah, you always want to go shoot for 10 at least, or something. A good full length side A, side B. But if we ended up with more that we wouldn't want to cut, or songs that just don't get finished to the completion, because there's other ones that are more excited, and then you're okay, you know, we got to put out a record, like otherwise it's going to be like 2 years or 3 years or something like that. So, and yeah, we try and do that as much as possible. I think like we definitely want to, we're always trying to up it, you know, as much as we can to get over that goal, but sometimes it ends up being just like 10 to 15 that we're working with. Okay. That we're really confident or you know, around that ballpark just to get the full length out.
And then you might cut a few?
I don't even know if we ever make a decision to cut it. It's either like we've made enough now.
Yeah.
And it's like if those ones didn't make it, then we'll either get back to them. And that's what I mean. There are some songs that like I think we were like, you know what? We got to start putting the album together and calling it something, and you know, because we've been on break now like long enough.
You didn't put a Rush of Life on Home Run, did you?
Oh yeah, that one's on.
It's on
yeah.
Okay, it confused me because you guys have that as like its own thing on Spotify too.
Right. I think we put the singles out and then, you know, didn't take them down or whatever, and have and
so I have every song like twice because of that.
Well, that's great. You know,
it's okay.
I know. Maybe there is slightly a different, just slightly a different volume to one of them, like the Georgian Bay, I think, or whatever, when it finally got put to the vinyl masters or something like things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did write all those songs, and then we kind of took a lot of them to Derek to spice it up and help mix like some of the things for us. So we always usually go to him to get the golden ear on everything.
Yeah, that's awesome that there's somebody local that can do that stuff.
That's what I mean. Like it's hard. It's so funny that it feels hard now sometimes to keep coming up with the next project and you know, like you beat yourself up about it, but it's the easiest time in the world to do it. Like we all have laptops and set up mics, and I don't know, there's so many people who have proven that it's so easy to do, or like that have inspired us to do it ourselves, homegrown, you know, in a sense. Bands like Hollerado, like DIY, like, you know, they were a big inspiration of us just being like, you know, how much can we do ourselves, you know? And when we were starting in our first couple albums, we were trying to take as much information and knowledge from the people behind the board and that were helping us make those albums as much as possible, like Derek or Aaron Goldstein. You know, it was we're always learning about that aspect, but you know, it's just we're very happy that we can come up with anything, and at the end of the day, bring it to somebody who can help us mix it and then master it. Christian, he's a great buddy in Toronto. He's done so many records now at this point, and he's super, you know, affordable for us. And you know, we definitely have friends to help us finish the products, but there's no excuse to not write, you know. So it's like that's why you beat yourself up. You're like, I just gotta, you know, get in there and try and do it. But you don't want to beat yourself up, like bang your head against a wall till like nothing comes out, because that has happened a lot of times lyrically for me, definitely. But that's why it's the best ones are the ones that come fast. You know, you hear that all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's some things that like I'll work on myself, and it took like an hour or two, and I came up with this idea and put this piece together, or this photo or this idea, and it all just was like so nice and smooth. And then sometimes it's like, oh, I've been at it for too long, and then I'm like, am I wasting my time, or should I see it through and finish it? Or then you put in that scrap pile, and then I have a note of scrap pile things to get back to, and then you know
sometimes I think the audio phone is like having these voice memos that am I ever going to tackle? It's almost like a place I'm supposed to put the trash in. Then just helps me get to the one that's really gonna make me finish it. And if I go back, if I ever think that something, you tell yourself, oh, it might be good or blah blah, but I will listen to the voice memos, and I'll listen to them again and again. I love going on a long drive. If I have to drive back from like Toronto or something myself, I'm like, I got 4 hours to listen to everything that like I want to listen to, and I'll go, okay, I'll give it a title. If I really think it's good, I'll title it because I want to remember it. And then I'll go back, and if it's really enough of a song, then that's how I really start the ball, I think, rolling on songs that I think personally that I've come up with are good ones. With the guys, it's like Zack might have the same kind of thing, a demo, or I might show him something, and then we get it going from there. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough because then you're looking at all these, voice memos or files that, I don't know. It's hard to go back to them sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you want to do it all right there, and that's really the best way to do it, is to finish it in the moment. But
yeah, you're right. Sometimes scrapping things brings you to the better
yeah,
thing.
sometimes I think it's like, if I just get this idea out and be like, okay, I have that. Now it's like I can move on a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when you get something that you can't put down, it's like the best feeling.
Yeah, for sure. When do you think you guys want to have this done by?
The new stuff that we're working on,
Like the next full length.
if we can get it by the end of the year, then that'd be great. That's the goal, at least, to try and put it out this year. But with touring, and that's why we're getting to the point where we think we have enough songs now, and we really want to finish off a couple other ones. That way we have, our ideas ready to go in the studio. And this one we are going to, I think, finish in Union Sound and make sure it sounds like it was done in the studio. Because last one was little cut and paste into what I think is a beautiful thing. But, this one, I think we're just going to continue off where we left off and give it that full chance in the studio. And then the next one, I think, will probably be another one done by us. I don't know. If I could guess, then that's what I would say. But
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome.
Good.
Do you have anything else that you want to add? Anything that's coming up? Anything you want to let people know?
I would say, yeah, keep watching for our shows. We're going to be posting some more dates soon. Listen to Home Run before our next album comes out, and look forward to some new songs. I wish I had like a really specific thing. The Windsor, if you're in Windsor,
I'm looking forward to some new songs for sure.
The Windsor Eats thing will be a fun show. They put in a good time. I think Rico's Tacos is like going to be serving food like at that event like they usually do.
Sweet.
I love me some Rico's Tacos.
Is that the holiday weekend or is that the weekend before?
I think it's the weekend. When's May 2-4?
Yeah.
I think it's the Friday.
I'm going to see.
May 19th. Look it up. Come on, Jamie.
Yeah, it is the holiday weekend. So you guys are playing the Friday of the long weekend. That's a good
kickoff. Because I think it bleeds into, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be.
That's a good kickoff for the party weekend.
Yeah, like we're going to be putting out some more dates. We're planning for a couple tours this year for sure. And really, if you're in the States, come see us in the States. It's like, we've done a good chunk of shows in Ontario and stuff like that. Sorry. Coughing good. This whole thing.
It's all good.
We're, so, those are always fun to set up here. But we're trying to get back to playing in the States like we did before COVID and branch out. So, we've had a lot of people help us like in that aspect. The Blue Stones guys have always been the nicest to us, like to open for them or play with them in the States or in Canada if they have a chance. The True shows were awesome. We opened up for the Trues on their couple state runs there or shows.
They're from Toronto, right?
I think they're originally from Halifax or the East Coast, but really? I think they reside in Toronto or Hamilton area.
Okay.
Yeah, so
they opened for you guys when you played the vinyl release at the Chelsea, right? Was that them?
No. That was Jane's party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, the Trues, if we could play with them in Canada, that would be awesome. The Brandy guys opened for them at the Kitabala recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Where can people find or listen to you guys? What's your preference?
Spotify, Bandcamp, if you really want to support and buy the album or something like that.
Yeah.
But I would say the best place to listen to us is at a show. So yeah, definitely come out. We really haven't had anybody tell us they've not had a good time at our show. And that's always the best feeling. Like, not like anybody's going to come up to you and say that really blew. But I think generally we've gotten a lot of good feedback for when we play, and you won't be disappointed if you come to the show. But obviously everything's online, and we keep it that way. Like, so listen on Spotify, listen on Bandcamp, send it to your grandma.
You guys have had a lot of memorable shows for me over the years. Like when you guys played on the roof at the Walkerville Night Market.
That was crazy. And nice enough for Mark to go out his way and do that. But
yeah, he was the best.
He was the best. He was a super positive guy. And, we love when people want to take a risk or chance, and not really a risk, but I think he knew that it wasn't going to be like up to code, doing that, but made us feel like the Beatles for a little bit.
And you guys covered a couple Beatles songs that they played on the roof, didn't you?
You kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and we'll throw in some covers and songs like that, but our favorite thing to do is just go out and play our 30 to 45 minute set and, say thank you very much. And I don't know. We hope that people keep listening. Honestly, buying the record, we were talking about Six doing his record documentary. It's hard, when your band, what do you like selling at the end of the day, or like your music? Well, it's all for free. We just hope people listen. And if it listens enough, then maybe one day we get a paycheck for that, right? But for the most part, if you want to support, grabbing a t-shirt or, a record at the merch table is the best way to support, or buy online. And, it's basically a souvenir at the end of the day that you enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
Whether or not you go home and put on our record or something like that. But most people do, and they have a good time doing it. So
yeah, and you guys will always sign them. That's always nice.
We will always sign a record for sure.
Did you get your signature down over the years, or did you always have it where you liked it?
I think I have the best signature out of the guys.
Yeah?
But I still think my signature is like very like shite compared to like, I never thought I had a good signature, but I do a little.
Yours is, you see it?
Yeah.
Which one's you?
I'm
far away.
I'm the farthest right.
Okay.
That's actually a good one of Zach's.
Okay.
I like that. That's probably one of Zach's finer signatures. And Robbie, I don't know. Yeah,
mine's terrible. Terrible.
I hate when somebody has a really good one. I go, I mean, if they either practice that long or they just naturally have like a sick idea for their thing. My name's always been pretty long, so it's like I wasn't going to sign Sebastian Abt, I might as well like sign William too and my middle name in there. And, so I just do like a little essay or whatever,
I was always like, when I was a kid, I was like, I want to sign an autograph one day. Like I want to sign something. And then I put on my first book and people started asking me to sign it. And I was like, I hate my signature. And over like the course of, I've tried to get better at it, but I still don't like how it
my
looks.
Writing in general is terrible too. Like I feel like I combine like when I write it's like a T is the part of the H, and it's just like I feel like I'm just trying to write so fast to get it down. It's like if you were to look at my handwriting, it's like all block letters, like too. Like I gave up on like small letters a long time ago. I think just for the clarity of it, I just didn't want to look like I was writing kindergarten anymore.
Do you
like
write cursive letters. Or do you print when you write things out?
I'll write print. Like yeah.
That's funny. They don't even teach it anymore in school.
Really?
Yeah, they just took it out.
They're done with it now too.
Done, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you think people are just going to be like doing things with their thoughts eventually anyways?
Yeah, probably.
So
I don't know. I used to like writing cursive actually because it like flowed better, but then nobody did it. So
it catches still, like even like an L or things like that. I don't know what I'm doing when it's like I got everything going on at once sometimes.
There's some letters that you'll always do like a cursive letter.
Chicken scratch or whatever.
Yeah. That's funny. What's your Instagram so people can go follow you guys?
At Huttch Band is our Instagram. You can follow at Sam Abt Music if you want, but you're gonna see like 2 photos. Honestly, my goal with that is I think I'm only gonna post a photo when I have an album.
Yeah.
I just want my Instagram for that to look like the album collection or something.
That'll be cool.
Unless maybe I'll get greedy and start posting photos. I don't know.
Well, you can just do story stuff when you have a show coming up.
Exactly.
So it's beneficial to follow.
Yeah. Most of the time it is a story, and we save the post for the band for the great shots that people come and take photos of us. Like that's always awesome. When you meet a photographer and then they go, "Oh, I really enjoyed your set. I'm going to send you the photos and don't worry about it." And that's always nice.
Yeah. I know, man. I got to get back into shooting live bands. Like during COVID, I stopped and started doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And now those projects have just taken over.
Well, now you got the drive again, so go do it.
Yeah.
You're pretty good though. Like, when you said you were taking the photos for all the skip the dishes or that kind of stuff, or I mean, that's cool. Like, like you if you can find any avenue you want to like make, yourself financially supportive of it. I mean, I think you're a pretty good hustler in my opinion, but I know you got a big drive for the art, and we appreciate you coming out to the shows and doing the shots that you have, done for sure.
Thanks. I haven't shot you guys in a long time, and I didn't shoot the home run show because I wanted to dance and
That's
party.
awesome. That's even better. Like, there's going to be someone with a camera. And I'm not going to worry, like, that's cool.
Yeah, but I got to shoot you guys soon. I'll shoot it. I don't know. Like it's funny you brought up the skip the dishes, like all the paid work I do, like real estate and weddings and stuff. There's like a fine line down the middle for me of personal stuff and paid stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay because, you learn stuff technically. It's like I didn't sign up to be a recording artist, but like if I want my stuff to sound, the best, it's like you try and, make it work with the guys or me or whatever, and you learn stuff from other people.
Yep.
Do I play a bar gig every now and then? Hell yeah, I do. But I feel like I'm more depressed going and doing those or like going to play by myself. I just feel like I'm like, well, how do I do this sometimes? Just because I'm like, do people want to see like me do that or cover these songs? But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm just going to go out and play the stuff that I like. And, I don't think anybody's going to boo me. So that's great. If I can get a beer and a couple bucks, like to hang out on a day, I got nothing going on. It's no problem.
Yeah. You've played it on a roll a few times, right? I've seen you there.
Oh yeah. I like those guys are super nice.
Yeah.
And I enjoy a sushi roll while I play. No problem.
Yeah, for sure. Did you ever get stage fright, or are you always good?
My girlfriend asked me this too recently. I don't get nervous playing with the guys because we know what we're doing, and I get nervous if I'm blanking on like a line through a performance. Like we're to a point where I'm like still missing, something like a verse and
it's like coming up to it.
But Robbie can usually save me before it gets too bad. He'll, or something like that. That's always like not fun, but.
How will Robbie save you? He'll just start singing it?
Yeah. Or most of the time they sing along with me anyways, but like, yeah, either that or, I've been pretty good at that so far. It was definitely some times where I'm like, oh my God, like I should have like really ran over all these. That's when like we've had to do like 3 sets or something like that. But yeah, I don't really get nervous when I play with the guys. I'm definitely more nervous playing by myself. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot more pressure when you're just playing some sort of solo show. But also I don't want to lose that aspect of it either. Like I still want to be able to pick up a guitar and be able to entertain people in a sense through that. Yep. Just by myself if I ever needed to or for whatever reason. But yeah, I don't get stage fright. Actually, the bigger the show, probably the more excited I'll be. But you definitely you have more tasks to check off and things to worry about before the show. But it's never like stage fright. I think I'm nervous to go on stage. Maybe for like a play back in the day or a performance like that, that's a little more nerve-wracking because when things go wrong, it could really go wrong. Yeah. In a band or something like that, if something goes wrong, it's like usually a decent recovery. Yeah. Unless you break a string and then you're like, oh, it's like the worst breaking a string.
Yeah. What do you do when you break a string? You just finish it without that string? And
if it sounds like something I could tune or hit, like fix really quick or something, then I'll keep playing. But if it's really bad, we've had to stop a song like because of a pedal or whatever and start over. That's never fun. No. Like, because then you're like, we just got, we made these people listen to 30 seconds of it already. And then you got to like do it again. It's like, you never really want to do that. But yeah, usually I have a backup guitar most of the time, and I just put the other one away and grab the other one.
Well,
no point of changing the string through the set.
It's a conspiracy theory between me and a few friends at the home run CD release at Meteor when you guys got unplugged, and you plugged back in and didn't skip a note, and we're like, was that planned?
I would love to say it was. But it really wasn't, because
It's more impressive that it wasn't planned.
Right. Well, and honestly, it could have got more awkward if it went like a second longer, because I remember that, and yeah, we were trying out Full Speed, like a new song, and it's a really heavy
What's
song.
that song called?
Full Speed.
Okay, I remember hearing that song that night, and then because the album was brand new, I was like, what song was that? That's not on there.
It's not on there. That's what I mean. It's one of those songs we've had for a bit now, because that's the newer stuff coming out, right?
That song was sick.
Yeah,
Everybody was going crazy.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, we're excited to put that stuff out too, and changing up the vibe for the next album is something, are people going to dig it? Are they going to be weirded out if we change? Not like we're changing styles, but it's definitely going to be different from Home Run. And yeah, that show, I remember at the end of it, it was right at the last part, and somebody unplugged my pedal board from the thing, and when that happens, it's like, if it's that bad, I'll freeze and I'll be like, all right, then, for like, how could we finish the song? But I saw it unplug and I just plugged it back in, or maybe somebody else did. I can't remember, but when I saw my pedal board go back on, I sang like the line, and Robbie was like, everybody went back in. So it was like, cool. It's funny you say that, because I think we all had the same feeling on stage, going like, that could have been planned.
Yeah, that was really smooth. And I think Dave, like, Dave, and he was just like, dude, I'm pretty sure that was on purpose. Like, they planned that out. And I was like, I don't know, man.
Maybe we'll use it in the future.
Yeah.
just pause and stand like the, oh man, what's the band? I can't remember. Tick, Tick, Boom with the Hives. They had a song where they just like stopped and stared down the crowd like halfway through their song or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like when people do like the theatrical stuff on stage like that.
For sure. We've been a pretty move around kind of band on stage.
For sure.
And people like to tell us it looks like we're having fun up there, because we are having fun. For the most part, it's never, a big hard task to get up and play. It's what we do it for.
Yeah, the biggest thing as a band photographer is, I don't care what you sound like or how famous or not famous you are. What makes good photos is like good stage presence,
right?
And putting on a show,
right?
And I love when I can shoot everybody in the band. Like, do you know how cool it is when you can shoot a bass player? Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes you can't shoot bass players. Like, usually it's just you. Right. You're getting all the photos. But like, Robbie is making the best faces and just being like a maniac back there, and like Zack's jumping around and everybody's, and like Dan's like grooving really good, and then like I can get pictures of them too, because I hate like, oh, I shot your set, here's 9 pictures of the lead singer. For sure. And the drummer's like, oh, sick, but it's like, dude, you didn't do anything. Like, I couldn't shoot it.
Nobody ever really like signs up to have to really entertain if they're playing. In a sense, some great bands don't do anything on stage, and they're still like one of the best shows you've seen. True. And maybe it lights or that kind of, those kind of things help the performance. One day, I really do want to incorporate that in the future. I want to be able to do lights and things. And most times you roll up to a venue and you get what you get, and luckily, hopefully somebody, will help you with that. Did you see the Blue Stone show at the Walkerville Theater?
No, I think I was gone away.
I think I mentioned that.
Or something.
But that was really cool and super inspiring to see those guys bring the rig that they did and put on that show. And from seeing them go to the Blind Dog, like back in the day, to like doing this stuff, it's like, that stuff about showtime and some of my favorite parts of seeing a show is just like right before they go on, everybody's talking and like, the lights are off still, and you don't know what you're going to see on stage or whatever. And obviously a band can be entertaining and jump around and have great music is really, what's going on at the end of the day. But, when you have the kind of theatrics and people can play to a theme, that's always another, great aspect of seeing a band. I wouldn't deny, that like if you saw that band without any of the hoopla, like or big pyro, it would be a different show, and maybe it would say, oh, maybe that band is needs that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I like to just think of it like you have to bring something to the stage, and you have to reflect your music in a sense. Luckily, I think that me and the guys have enough of camaraderie and energy together to play, to entertain without relying on it.
Yep.
But I want to step up the shows, or have that one day, or something like that. So
that would be cool. When bands do that stuff, it's great. But one of the greatest shows I ever saw was Iron and Wine.
Oh yeah.
He sat down in a chair with his guitar, played for an hour and a half, and it was like, so I was shooting it, and usually when I shoot bands like that, you can only shoot the first 3, and then you're done. You can go watch or you can go home. And sometimes I'm there by myself, and I'm like, I don't really want to watch this band by myself for an hour.
Right.
And I was walking after I finished shooting, and I was just listening to him play, and I was deciding, like, am I going to go home or am I going to stay and watch? And hearing him play this song live, like, I sat in a chair just mesmerized for an hour and a half, and I don't even think he moved, and that was like the other end of it. It was amazing.
Some of those have been the best times ever too. Like for me, like I remember seeing Ron Sexsmith. I went by myself, like just I was really into his music at the time, wanted to see him for the first time, and not like I begged people to come and they didn't come. I just it's fun to go see a show by yourself sometimes if you're really into it, like you can or whatever. But that was a really cool performance to see him, just by himself too, and still know all the songs. And really, that's the end of the day. If you go to see somebody that you thoroughly enjoy their music already, I don't think they can do any wrong.
Exactly.
But when they're on stage, they probably think all they can do is wrong. So, or maybe not, maybe they're super comfortable. With the guys, I have them to rely on if for the whole show. So I feel like I have a lot of support. But, when it's me, it's like, that's why it's like, it's all on you.
Yeah.
And it's fun to maybe sometimes write that way, or where, I don't have, all that exterior, like, or things coming from the guys, but also it's so much more fun when you come up with something with a lot of people, I think, than as opposed to myself, because I can pat myself on the back as much as I want, but unless you go out and prove, in a sense, those songs are great, then they'll probably just be for you,
Yeah. I think it's like the people that already like you, I don't think, the show's great, but like, I'll just listen to you guys play songs, even in your jam space, and have a great time. But if nobody knows you yet, it's like those new people, that's how you bring them in.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's who I really am always. Yeah. I want to, I always want to impress new people with the music, for sure. Yeah. Not that I want them to, need to buy the record or what you can do, just follow the band and get those numbers up for us.
Yeah. Or go home with like that feeling, like, I think if you did a great job is if somebody gets in their car and they put you on.
Yes.
And listen to it on the way home.
And luckily now people through social media, the best thing is that they can put a story up and say, I'm playing your record, or I'm listening to it in the car today. And that's always awesome, because it's just like, it's like that gratitude that you never expect, but you just hope, for. And because all the gratitude, all that stuff is already done. When we put out the record, we've done our work, and all we get to do is just go and play and relish in it. And if nobody's there, it's like, if we thought we did really well, like not like nobody's there. Like most of the time we have a decent crowd, and because we want to show it to the most people possible, and it feels good to resonate with people like that don't know us. You know what I mean? There were a lot of people at that True show in Detroit that were like, I never even heard you guys in Windsor. So, hopefully we get a whole another group of people that come out next time. Yeah. Dude, I got to go to the bathroom so bad.
It's all good.
Can I go now or come back? Or
we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
I think I'm good. Are you ready?
Yeah, no, I was like, this is pretty good.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up on that note.
I may not be the best guest, but I'm the first guest.
Yeah, he's the first guest. I'm not the best, definitely not the best host right now, but I'm glad you were my first guest. It means a lot. Thank you for trusting me and coming on.
No problem. Maybe we can, do it again sometime, and I'll come back with more music knowledge, and
I'll have you on like my 25th one or something. If I make it that far,
you'll make it that far. You're gonna do like 1,000 one day, and you're gonna be like, can't believe we did it, boys.
Yeah,
and girls.
Well, Sebastian Abt of Huttch, thank you very much for coming out. Check them out on everything, Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, all that stuff. Thank you.
Nice. I like the theme song too.